Erev Tov, good evening everyone. Today our topic is preparation or the preparation for the Seder night. We're going to talk a little bit about what's needs to be done with the expectation from the Halacha point of view. It's very important. Everybody listen, maybe take notes. If you have any questions, this is the time to ask or to write for us some questions. Yes?
If you wanted me to record it on my phone, should I do that or just tell them where to watch it?
Yeah, you can watch it. You can watch it right now live, or you can watch it later. I can send you the link, or Hannah can send you the link. You're talking about Ophir? Yeah. Yeah, so communicate with Hannah. She's sending you the link. You have her WhatsApp? ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. טוב, תודה רבה to the Medina's family for hosting this shiur every week. God bless them with a lot of good health and parnasa. I hope my berachot are helping. Every year you got to get a better salary. I know. That's the whole idea.
It works for some people, not for everybody.
I should work for all participants.
Yeah, but you see the ones that are not here, it's not working for them.
They're still working.
It's only working for the ones that are sitting here.
Okay, that's true. That's true. Or those who listen to us from far away.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about the Eve of Pesach. This year, 2018, is going to be on Friday. Friday, we're going to have Ta'anit Bechot. Any firstborn must go to the shul, participate in some Torah learning for some time, a few minutes, I don't know, half an hour or so. They're eating something and they're exempt from fasting because all firstborns supposed to fast. Supposed to fast on the night of the Seder.
So if you're an only child?
Doesn't matter. Firstborn. If this is a girl, so the father go to shul, he participates, and then he brings her something to eat from the cookies, from the cake, really quick before he has to destroy the chametz. If he's a little child, that's a 1 year old, few months, whatever, so the father participates till he gets to the age of bar mitzvah, and then he has to do it by himself. Almost every shul has siyum masechet when they're finishing a tractate of Talmud, and that way you're exempt. Even if you go to Israel, look for a synagogue close to your home and make sure to participate in such learning. Please note that it is forbidden to eat matzah starting from dawn of 14th of Nisan, this coming Friday, so that matzah will be appetizing when eating it on the Seder. Imagine to yourself, people working all that day, and they're hungry. So they want to try the matzah, want to eat some matzah. There's no chametz available. Halacha says you don't touch it because a few hours later you're going to sit down and Seder play. You're already full of matzah. You don't want to touch it. Yeah. You may eat a little bit rice, fruit, soup, whatever. It's fine. My recommendation is eat as less as you can. In one hand, I recommend don't come empty stomach because if you drink the 4 cups, first cup is going to make you dizzy. For many years, I used to drink the regular wine, and I used to eat very little. After the first cup, I already felt burn in my stomach and dizziness, and I ruined my first 2 or 3 years of Seder. Then I consult with my Rabbi Sindani, and he says, no, just drink grape juice and mix it a little bit if you want with regular wine, and it's fine. Okay? If you want to know the measurement of how much you need to drink or eat, the amount, or the wine, or the maror lettuce, or the matzah, we created videos. You go to our YouTube channel, Ohev Israel Foundation. I think you even find it on the Facebook. Just search for words like maror or matzah or wine or cup of wine, and you find we have videos that explain exactly what's the measurement. So you'll be sitting by the Seder table, you know what to do, and you fulfill the mitzvah completely. There's no problem. So we don't eat that day. I don't know in the land of Israel, but here in Dallas, we're starting, if I remember correctly, after 8:45 p.m., which means it's pretty late. Some has the custom, because it is Shabbat. Every Shabbat, what they do, it's not a custom. Every Shabbat, you start with Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hashem, and then they do it 3 times. And then the whole song 3 times. And then Eshet Chayil. Eshet Chayil mi yimtza v'rachok mi. Some have the custom when Passover and Shabbat merge together, combined, they just skip. They start immediately, Kiddush. Can always have time to say it later. Why? It's getting too late. Kids going to fall asleep. Unless you do it really quick. So that's another story. My recommendation to you, all of you, don't stretch the night. It's not a competition who finished later. Some say, what time you finish? 2 p.m., 2 a.m. 2 a.m., oh my goodness. This is so early. We are close to 4. What are you trying to say? Oh, let me see. The 30 minutes. 30 minutes Seder. 30 minutes Seder. Okay.
There's no such thing.
Yeah. It's maybe 30 minutes just to go over it.
Yeah, that's for kids.
So, it's important that you follow the main halachot there. Prepare yourself before the night. Take the Haggadah. I'm not recommending this one, but I don't know if this one is the right thing for you. But you take the Haggadah and you go over it. There is something very nice here. The Sephardic Haggadah. You go over, especially if you are the leader. Some says, I'm not the leader, my father is the leader. Yes, but you know that your father is not really expert, and you are more into Torah, more into Halacha. So I recommend you to go over and help your father, because there's many, many things we have to say and don't skip. At this point, you need to wash, and you wash without the blessing, and then you wash with the blessing, and then you dip, and what's the amount? And leaning on your left side is like that, or on the table. It's recommended best on the table, by the way. What if you skip? What if you didn't finish it all? You need to finish it once, all at once, the cup of wine. You need to know this halachot. People sitting around the Seder table and thinking that this is just for the experience and laughing and drinking and singing. No. Yes, you can enjoy from Seder, but on the other hand, you have to follow the procedure. Seder. Seder means order. Okay? And if you didn't do it, you miss the whole point, you miss the whole night. And this is really, really a shame. Okay. Accidentally, if someone ate matzah, he has to say Birkat HaMazon, the blessing we do after eating bread. You may eat during that day cookies or cake that are kosher for Passover, so you won't get to the Seder night when you are hungry and your stomach is empty. So what is the order of the Seder plate? Okay, it's different in some communities. For example, the Yemenite, for them, the whole table is the plate. They're putting all the table, the vegetables and everything. Some say put it on plates. I recommend to do something like that. It's more organized. Put a plate according to the people, or you don't have to give each and every one of the participants a plate for himself. So calculate, let's say, between every 4 or 6 people to have one plate. Some ask you, the plate has to be round? The answer is no. It's just more common to find them today round. You doesn't have to be a plate like this when you have all that. You can just take any plate, any tray, and convert it to a Seder plate. How many items need to be put on this plate? So total, we're going to have 10. 7. 3 matzot. We have the zeroa, which is the shank bone. We have the egg, and the maror. Then the charoset, which is the
Mixture of dates, honey.
how do you call it? Charoset. There's no English word for it, I think.
The mortar that they used.
They use the mud and So the mix of apple and dates and together. Then the karpas, which is the celery in many communities. Some use parsley. And then the chazeret can be lettuce, can be, I forgot what Ashkenazi used. Chrein, I think they use chrein. Very, very spicy. Horseradish. Horseradish.
Yeah.
This is really, really, really spicy. Be careful. Especially not to eat it on empty stomach.
That one's the sandwich, right?
Huh?
The sandwich one that you do in between the matzahs. What you're talking about? The one you just said right now.
Chazeret, lettuce.
Yeah.
Lettuce.
Yeah.
Here on the top you put the 3 matzot. Can I eat the egg? Yeah, some eat the egg, some don't eat the eggs. It's up to you. Some don't eat roast meat. Some do eat meat, roasted meat. Not the zeroa. Zeroa is the arm. You don't have to use shank bone. You can use chicken wings. You can find shank bone. Question? Okay. Questions about the plate. Everything we do is for the kids to ask questions. Every Shabbat we have 2 chalot. Now we're supposed to have 2 matzot. Why do we have 3 matzot? It's for the kids to ask a question. What's going on? What's the difference? Why 3? Why not 4? Oh, it's Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Oh, okay. Oh, is it Kohen, Israel, Kohen, and Levi? Kohen, Israel, Levi? Why you break this one and you leave the other one? It's all about the kids asking questions. If you let your kids play around, you miss the whole point of that night. Make sure they're sitting by you, let them participate, read some part, promise them prizes, prepare questionnaire, some questions, riddle with prizes. My family, Rabbi Silvani used to do it every year. We're so excited about Passover. And we get prizes and we get points. After Pesach we get money. You find the afikoman, you get money. The kids will not sleep. They were so excited. Ooh, the adrenaline is unbelievable. Yemenite also has the custom, the Yemenite Jew, to put some costume on you and to take some bag and to play for a minute or two like you're living out of Egypt, you're singing a song. And hey, don't push, hey, did you take your stuff? You forgot it. And I remember my father used to do it every year. It's so funny. Some years he goes with this custom to the neighbors and recognize them. It was very funny. So it's such an experience. When I'm just telling you about it now, it makes me very excited, and I remember like it happened yesterday. So Seder, Pesach, it's not about eating and drinking, socializing. No. Yes, it's also that. But the main point is to follow really the Seder. Some Haggadot I would not recommend to use. Some Haggadot made by who knows what. They're skipping a lot of parts and they don't do it. So you don't know what to use? Ask your rabbi. You can always send me a picture of a few pages and I'll let you know, B'ezrat Hashem, if that's recommended or not. Okay? When should we start? One should have the Seder table set before the evening begins. Unfortunately, some communities starting the Seder before its time, and even they sometimes finish before its time out of conveniency. So let's say it's supposed to start around 9 p.m., but it's too late. They want to start at 5 p.m. It's not Passover yet. It didn't even started. We like to start when it's still daylight outside. We have to drive back. We're drinking. They give you all the excuses. This is really wrong. This is wrong. All the blessings are in vain. You cannot start before the stars comes out, which is around 8:40 something. So as soon as the evening starts, so that everything has to be ready, so that when one returns home from the synagogue, one can recite the Kiddush immediately after dusk. It is important to begin the Seder early, so that the little children will remain awake to participate in the Seder, and fulfill the mitzvot of the evening. Okay? How do you know what to start? The rabbis of each community already sent, I know we sent in Young Israel of Dallas, we sent a schedule that I highly recommend everyone here to print out, put it on your refrigerator, because there's a lot of times of davening and classes and two seders. It's confusing. You have all the information you need till Pesach is over. Passover is over. Okay, you can also see it on Young Israel website. Log on to youngisraeldallas.org, and you may see all the information for the Dallas community. You also have it on the Ohev Israel? No? Okay, well, I guess we can put it on Ohev Israel also. Oh, remember, very important to give Kimcha de Pischa. Try to give it before Passover. Kimcha de Pischa is the donation we give for the needy, those who need to prepare for Pesach, to buy matzah, to buy wine. Hashem says, you sitting on your table, eating and drinking, your stomach is full, and my other children are crying, they have nothing. What did you do for them? Did you do something for my children? I tell them, yes. I made a donation to Ohev Israel Foundation. And so you're going to get, Bezrat Hashem, a lot of blessing out of it. Again, so Kimcha de Pischa is a donation to help to those who need for Passover. Okay? So some gave me already, and we already started give, Baruch Hashem, last week, and this week we give money to people. I found it easier than buy them products in case we can, so we just give them the product. And this is a very great mitzvah. It's very nice. Questions so far? Okay. Who is obligated to drink the 4 cups? Men, women, only women, only children? Who? So the answer is, men and women are equally obligated in the midst of drinking the 4 cups of wine. It is commendable to give wine to the children to taste as well once they have reached the age of chinuch. So you give to the children a little bit to drink from. Okay, I'm talking a little bit, kids younger than 6. From 6 years old and up, they can drink a cup. We'll see, maybe I'll have time. Yeah, we can go over the amount.
Is it okay for adults to drink grape juice?
Yeah, that's what we do in my house. We found out that this is easier and you remain in focus. Okay? And that's the best way. So, Haseba, the mitzvah of Haseba. What's Haseba? When you're leaning on your left side. Why we need to lean on our left side? Anybody has an idea? You lean on your friend's shoulder, or you lean on the table. So, first of all, make sure that someone that sits next to you is someone that it's comfortable to sit by. I mean, if you have someone that, men and women, and you're leaning on her shoulder, that's not appropriate. Okay? Make sure you're in a spot, in a place that you have you have enough room without bothering anyone else. Okay? Why are we even leaning on our left side? Lama tzarich haseba. What do we need this haseba for? Remember that the whole idea of this holiday is cherut. Cherut means freedom. We are we are like kings. We are the children of a king. You saw how kings eat? They sit down. They get some grapes. Someone give them grapes. You have some, make some nice, air. So they never eat like that, tense, and finish to eat. You take your time. Time is in your hand. And on the ancient days, this is how they used to eat. When you're leaning on your left side, the food being digested better. It goes directly to the stomach. So, therefore, the halacha says, this night you have to feel like a king. So you never pour yourself a wine. Always someone will pour wine for you. Lo mozgim yain la'atzmecha. Someone else will do it for you. So make sure that the head of the household, there's someone near him, someone is in charge to pour for him. And you to pour to your neighbor. And your neighbor to you. Because you're a king. You're like in the restaurant. Someone will give it to you. Someone will take care of you. Okay? When and which part of the night we are leaning on the left side. Total, it's going to be 7 times. 4 cups, eating the matzah 5, when we folding the matzah with the maror 6, and we eat the afikoman right before we do Birkat HaMazon, then it's going to be the 7th time. Total of, it's going to be 7. You remember the number, so it will help you. What about the rest of the time? If you want to do it, it's fine too. It's highly recommendable to recline on one side throughout the Seder meal. The poskim disputed whether one may recline during the time that the Haggadah is recited while chanting the Hallel and the closing passage of the Seder. If someone wishes to recline at these times, he has a halachic basis on which to rely. Okay? Birkat HaMazon, you don't recline, you sit upright and do Birkat HaMazon as you do every year. Okay? Someone says, I didn't know if I should do it on my left side or my right side, so I did it. I drank the cup on my right side. He has to do it again. It's not good that he did it, but he doesn't have to do it again. From next time, you should recline on the left side. Okay. What about lefties? People say, hey, I'm lefty. In tefillin, someone that is lefty, using lefty is one considered that one that writes in his left hand. He do most of his work in left hand. So tefillin he has to put on the right side, right hand. Why? Because this is his weak hand. You always put the tefillin on the weak hand. So what about lefties? They need to do the haseba, reclining on left side as well, like everyone else. It doesn't matter that they are lefties. Okay. Questions? If someone forgot to recline when drinking the first cup of wine, but he realized it soon afterward, he must drink a second cup while reclining without repairing the blessing of Borei Peri Gefen. If he realized his mistake only after he recited the blessing of Asher Ge'alanu, he should drink 1 cup while reclining. Wait a bit, and then pour a second cup and drink it while reclining. Now, the cups needs to be clean and clear every time. So if you're using the glass one, okay, so if you use the glass one, you have to wash them in between. If you're using a disposable one, and I highly recommend to use those, it's easy on Pesach, you don't have to. You drink, you throw it away, you bring a different and clean and new cup. Thank you. This is, how many you have ounces here? 3? Okay, this is a perfect cup to be used because you can put it almost all the way to the top. It's very little. If you think about it, it's if you saw a baby bottles, it looks a lot, but it's not. It's around 86 cc, let's say 90 cc on a baby's bottle. So you always hold it on your right hand, you're leaning on your left side, and you drink it. try to drink it all at once, one shot, not small sips. Using red wine is preferable over white wine. Grape juice, there is some that they are very close to the white color. Use the red one. There's always a reason in the Kabbalah why red, and I'm not going to go through it right now. Okay.
Can it be bubbly?
Yes, as long as it's kosher for kiddush. Okay, some of them are. I've noticed. I was in one family that they have this bubbly stuff, but it turns out it looks exactly like grape juice. It wasn't. It was some apple cider. Yeah. Be careful to make sure you say bracha over something that is appropriate to say bracha over it. Okay. It has to be kosher. Amen. This grape juice has to be kosher. There's a lot of them out there. Look very like the Kedem one. They're not kosher. Especially with wine, it has to be kosher. It's not just another 100% grape juice. With 100% apple juice, orange juice, it's fine. But when it comes to grapes, it has to be with kashrut, because it's all about yain nesech, and if you're familiar with that, but just take my word for it, and it must be kosher. Make sure. Okay. I think we are, okay. So we already said that before filling the cup with the wine for kiddush, 1 cup must be rinsed thoroughly. Okay, we mentioned that. One should have someone else fill one's cup with wine for this. This is the way of aristocrats. Okay, a woman that she is nida. You know what nida means, right? She has in the times that she's forbidden to be with her husband. Yet she can pour the wine for her husband, when actually during other circumstances she won't be able to.
I'm sorry, what's nida?
When a woman has her period time, before she dip herself in the mikveh. And okay, so she is go through the process of mikveh purification. Okay. Any questions about the cups? We cover it? Good. Sure.
What happened, Rabbi, if someone forgot to eat the fikuma?
I must eat it later, after Birkat Hamazon. Sometimes you go to a family, or in your family, the head of the household does not spell the words correctly. You skip word, kafir, words like brukata. You can't fulfill the mitzvah by making such words. What are you going to do? You don't want to insult him. You have these issues every Shabbat, every Yom Tov. What do you do? If the person reciting the Kiddush is ignorant of halacha, and he does not know that he must have specific intentions on behalf of the household, that's another thing, so that they will fulfill their obligation in the mitzvah of Kiddush, or he can spell the words or letter, can pronounce them correctly, each person should hold his cup of wine and recite the text of Kiddush silently for himself along with him. You don't say it out loud, it's going to be very insulting to him. As explained in the above halacha that I skipped, and I'm going to read it now. If the head of the household mumbles his words or swallows them so that the household cannot hear the full Kiddush correctly as he recited, each person should silently recite the entire text. Okay, that's the idea. We already mentioned that. You know what to do. Don't count on it. I'll tell you more than that. If you're in a family that the head of the household is not Shomer Shabbat, he's not keep Shabbat. He's secular. Some of them even will drive after the Seder or whatever. He doesn't keep Shabbat. He's Chiloni. You started to keep Shabbat already. Or you keep Shabbat. It happens all the time. When the children are do teshuvah, they keep Shabbat. The parents didn't yet. Not yet. What he's going to do? There's a big problem with that. I want you to know halachically with someone that breaks Shabbat, transgresses the Shabbat, to even pour the wine for you. Because it says in the halacha, whoever breaks Shabbat, he is like a goy, like a non-Jew. You have the same status. What's the difference with you and a non-Jew? The non-Jew doesn't keep Shabbat, you don't keep Shabbat. You are the same. So the same apply to you, to him, in regards to wine. So what I'm going to do now? I don't want to insult my father. I just did my change. I become more dati. And my father doesn't. So what you need to do, you pour to yourself, and you said the blessings, even on Shabbat, on Yom Tov, for yourself, quietly. Okay? You don't have to hold a full cup of wine. Even a little bit, and say it with you, or say, I want to follow what you're saying. You're going to feel that you give honor. Okay? You don't have to tell them why. That way, you fulfill the mitzvah and everything is good. Okay, you need to be wise. The Torah doesn't teach you to insult someone. But it teaches you how to override this kind of situation without hurting someone else's feelings. Okay? Hoping one day, soon, he will do teshuvah and keep Shabbat and Yom Tov. So we already said that everyone is obligated for the 4 cups. We're done with that. Finito. Next. Any questions? So how many times we are leaning on our left side? 7. Okay. How many cups you have to drink?
4.
What if I drink only 3? What if I did 5? I still consider 4. Whatever you want to drink after, it's fine. As long as the minimum is 4, and make sure you have the exact amount as a minimum, no less than that. I would say, there's a lot to study, and I'm not going to go over the whole Seder. Many of the Haggadot, the good Haggadot, has the order with explanation. What do you do now? What do you do after? Make sure to have Haggadah in your own language, so you know what's going on. And if someone did something incorrectly, make them aware of that and tell them, in my Haggadah it says something. What do you think about that? Hopefully, if they don't follow it, just do your thing. Okay? There is some Haggadot you can get for free in some supermarkets. I don't know if they're good or bad. Some of them with kashrut, let's say OU or Star K. So they're obviously good. Okay? We're going to Israel, so he's following he has the also have the stamp or whatever, kashrut of very famous kashrut. It's fine. It's always better to ask someone that has the knowledge to tell you if it's okay, yes or no. Okay. Please note that when you're using vegetables like parsley, lettuce, celery, had to be rinsed thoroughly and dipped in dish soap. It's the best. No vinegar, no salt will do the job. And then wash it so people won't have soap in their mouth. They start to talk with bubbles coming out of their mouth and ruin the taste of the food. Wash it thoroughly and it's all good. Okay? You don't want to have a situation when you eat bugs and in the Seder, instead of doing a mitzvah, you're doing an avera. So I always tell people, you go into a non-kosher restaurant, I'm just eating salmon. You know how many problems with salmon? You know how many problems with worms they have in them? What about the vegetables you get? Do you think in the Chinese restaurant they rinse it thoroughly? They dip it in, soak it in soap?
Even like smoothie places?
Depends what type of smoothie. Some smoothies are okay. Let's say banana and some smoothies are fine. Okay, but it's better to get it from a kosher. There's no some smoothies they do it in kosher's ice cream place. I know my kids goes there. So they don't necessarily has to have kosher. Okay, no problem. Okay, when you eat the karpas, okay, that celery, you don't eat it laying on your left side.
That's the way you dip in the salt.
Okay, so different customs. Some do it on the charoset only, everything. Some dip it in the salty water. What salty water? Why we have the salty water there? It represents the tears of the Jews that they cried for what they did to the children and the hardship and everything. I will conclude with maybe saying that about the shmura matzah. Matzah shmura. What shmura means kept. From harvest, they kept it in a very dry place. Through the whole process, it was kept that it will not rise and will be no chametz. This is why they're a little bit more expensive. Not a little bit, they're more expensive. I recommend, and this is something I did many years ago, and now Baruch Hashem, more people in communities using it, to use the soft matzah. Soft matzah, you can do korech with it, folding and not breaking it. For some people, it's easier to digest. For some, it's the dry one, the cardboard-like, okay? Don't get confused during Passover eating cardboards, like the pizza ones. You might get confused. It tastes the same. You can't do mistake when you have the soft matzah. It looks like lafa, like the soft tortilla, right? Okay, make sure to have a kosher one. I think you can order it from New York, but it's going to be really expensive at the last minute. I have so much other things to talk, but I think that's it for today. Maybe on next week we'll talk about other things. You have a class, you're here? Okay, so Pesach Halacha, no big changes if we're in town. If no, go fishing with the Goveas family. We are going to be here, Bezat Hashem. We're going to talk about Omer time, and many other beautiful things that we have in Judaism. On behalf of Ohev Israel Foundation, I want to thank everyone that participated. Please join us in a few minutes to continue our next class. There's very interesting things that we're going to share with you today. Shalom, shalom, and I want to wish everybody, on behalf of Ohev Israel Foundation, happy Passover, kosher Passover. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate, and don't forget the Kimcha de Pischa, to help the needies by going to our website